All right. So thanks for joining Heavy. Today we're here speaking with CAELIN, who is the Slipknot Museum Global Manager, which of course will be on display at all three Knotfest Australia shows over March 21, 23, and 24. So welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. So excited to be on your show. Thank you.
My absolute pleasure. So firstly, I guess, tell us a bit more about the Slipknot Museum and what it offers.
Yeah, so basically, for Knotfest, I bring the museum and it's the band's representation at the festival. And basically, this year we're bringing a 25-year retrospective. So we're starting from Iowa 1999, and you will basically like walk the album cycles from their beginning to now. And
Wow.
we've pulled pieces that represent each of the albums. So whether it's wardrobe or whether it's musical instruments, we'll also have an opportunity, the fans will, to play some of the instruments. So mixed guitar, Jim's guitar, V-Man's bass, and they're all the settings are on the quad cortex or to their specifications. So as you're playing, you're going to hear it how V-Man plays it or hears it. And then yeah, we're just bringing some rad art from Clown and some secret surprises. So yeah, it's for the Slipknot fan, but it's for the Knotfest fan. It's to celebrate, like I said, their 25-year anniversary. So it's a really big deal, and I'm really excited to bring it back to Australia.
That's sure. But it must be a massive undertaking getting all that stuff over here and set up from day to day, though.
It is. I've been working out for 2 weeks just on weights alone and eating everything in sight. I'm gonna have my fill of Marmite and Vegemite when I get there too to like power carbo load. But yeah, so we have to ship it. So it left actually in January.
Wow.
So it's odd to pack these things up in December, knowing you're not going to see them for 3 months, because then anything you miss, then I have to chuck it in my suitcase.
If you carried all of
So
this on the plane.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, and some of it, I'm sure customs would have some issues with it. No knives or anything, but still some pointy objects that are better left in a container. So yeah, so it is an undertaking, but it's worthwhile. And Slipknot fans aren't fans, they're family, and they have high expectations, rightfully so. The band delivers. And so I feel that I need to do the same thing. So I bring nothing less than the best because that's what they deserve, to be honest.
Yeah. Now you touched on this a bit before, but like a lot has been made of the fact that Slipknot aren't coming to Australia this year. But you can see the merits behind that. Like it's a chain, I guess, not fest. It's not just for Slipknot, but in a way, this museum is a representation. Like it's Slipknot's representation because they can't be here physically. This is them saying to the fans, "Well, have a piece of our heart. Take some of us with you."
That is such a beautiful way of putting it. I'm glad you said it that way, because yeah, it's not about their absence, it's truly about their presence. And they still want to deliver to the fans. And like I say, with this museum, this is as close as a Slipknot fan can get to the band without actually even being on stage. That's probably the closest you could get, is being on stage. And next to that, it's coming to this museum and seeing and experiencing, because it's a sensory experience. Like, it's tight, it's visceral, it's, you walk in, it's dark, it's kind of confusing, you're looking at flashing lights, and then we kind of chew you up and then spit you out. And we hope that you leave not knowing what happened to you, but feeling better for it. I mean, not to sound too crude, but I mean, it's yeah, we want it to be incredible, one of the most incredible experiences you can have with your clothes on.
You're gonna have to let me gather my thoughts again then. So I know you've had a lot to do with it, but how much has the band got to do with what's going in there? Like, are they hands-on with everything?
Absolutely, 100%. I've been doing this for 3 years. So it started out as a VIP program in North America. And then when Knotfest went global, so did the museum. And so I'm the global museum manager. And everything, is selected and curated. So while I pull pieces, the band ultimately has the final say. And especially Clown, the great thing about Slipknot is that it's not just about the music. They haven't been branded. They haven't been working with stylists. Everything has been birthed organically, and there's been a parallel of art that has run alongside of this band. So I'm so gifted in that I'm not just bringing your run-of-the-mill studio equipment. I get to bring some of their art too. And one of the pieces I'm bringing has never left North America before. And Australia will be the first place to see it. And I know that Clown is so excited about this. And again, it was important to me because I really wanted that art piece to be represented. And he's done so much art. I mean, we have warehouses full of stuff. I could tour for the next 25 years and you would probably never see the same things twice.
Yeah. And that special thing you were just talking about then, is that one of the secrets we're not allowed to know until we get there, or can you give us a hint?
Oh no, that one is a art piece called Patiently Awaiting Jigsaw. And it's a 7-foot steel cage. And again, like it was so gnarly to try and load onto a container, and we've had to wrap it in pillows and blankets so that people don't stab their eyes. But the surprise that's coming is something that has never been displayed in public before. And it's a personal piece of Clown's, and it's several $1,000s. And I'm going to have my own personal guard on it. And I'm nervous as heck to tour with it. But I also wanted to bring a wow factor. And again, Australia has been so kind to us. And I can't think of a better place to showcase this kind of hidden secret piece from Clown, aside from his art.
So you bring up a good point there. Like you're in the firing line here. Like if anything goes wrong, like they're all over there and you're here. So it's like it's blamed.
Don't say that. No, not at all. In fact, it's the opposite. I get to receive all the praise, and I wish I could pass it on to them. So yeah, I just go out there. It's such an honor to bring this. And again, especially the Australian fans, you know, are so unique in terms of their passion and their love of the band. And it's not lost on any of us. It's truly just an honor to bring anything to Australia.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I want to explore a couple of things in a bit more detail here. Like you mentioned the playable guitars. So what is it like? So I suppose we should, the one admission fee to get into the museum, that covers everything in there? Like you don't have to pay the guitars and...
No, not at all. Yeah, one price fits all. So yeah, once you come in, then you're essentially mine, and I get to do whatever I want with you.
So you're like a tour guide.
Well, I feel like I'm more of a ringleader. I feel like it's under a circus tent, so I just am like, you know, playing with everybody like marionettes. No, yes, you get to play, and this is my thing. I tell people, even if you don't play, pick it up. When else are you going to get to touch a musician's actual guitar? And these are not pieces that they've retired. These are instruments that they're still using. Like before it left, we had to have a lot of meetings because they knew they weren't going to see these instruments for months. And there was some recording in there. So we were having to decide what I could put on a shipping container that these guys were comfortable not seeing for the next 4 or 5 months. So these are all present. They're in use. They've been on stage. They still are on stage. So yeah, that's an incredible, I think, unique part of the museum. And then there's also a great photo opportunity. So you can get your photo taken that you can then upload or share with social media. That's really fun with one of the album cover backdrops. Again, I don't want to give too much away, but that's always a fun feature too. So yeah, you get quite a bit. Bang for your buck, as we say.
You really actually like... It's not like a normal museum, like where you walk in and you've got your little red ropes there, and you can't, you can't even reach over, and that's like you're actually getting to physically interact with some of this stuff.
Yes, some of it you are. Some of it there are ropes because, you know, I would probably go into severe debt if I let any of these things happen to some of the pieces. But yeah, it's that kind of like, it's that dichotomy though of like some things you look at and some things you experience, but it was never meant to be precious. It was never meant to be, you know, quiet walk through. It was meant to be, like I said, that tight, visceral, that sensory overload that you know Slipknot for. Like when you go to see their show, and I can tell you the first time I ever saw them, the first few seconds they started playing and I felt like I needed to breathe out of a paper bag. I couldn't actually breathe because I was hit with such tremendous force. And I had never experienced anything like that in a live show before. And that's what I hope to bring with the museum.
It's actually a little bit surreal for me as well, because like I started journalism over 20 years ago, and Joey was the second ever interview that I ever did.
Oh my God. God. Oh my gosh. That
And,
that actually brings a little bit of a tear to my eye. That's beautiful. That's
yeah, to
beautiful.
this day, he's still probably one of the most eloquent, well-spoken, nicest people that I've ever spoken to.
That's incredible. That is so amazing to hear. And that's it. Like, you know, when I first came on tour with them, my family, I have family in Kentucky, and they had a what we call an intervention. I don't know if you guys have those in Australia, for usually it's for drugs.
I was going to
But
say
they
ahead.
had a satanic intervention for me because they thought I was going to work for like a satanic band. And
That's
I
sad.
know, it was classic. They brought me, they literally after Easter dinner, they all sat around and they said, "CAELIN, we need to talk to you about this band." And they all stood up in red letters. And I was like, this is actually insane. But I played them Psychosocial of all the songs. And I especially had them listen to the bridge and listen to Corey's vocal range. And then I talked about meeting them and how incredibly generous and wonderful humans they are, and that this is truly art. It's a performance, but it's actually in tandem with how amazing they are as people. So it might seem like a juxtaposition, what you see on stage and how nice they are, but actually the two do come together in a real moment of something singular, which is just being great. Great performance, great people.
Couldn't have said that any better myself.
Thank you.
Now, there's as much as you actually can, like run us through the museum. Like you walk through the front of the tent. Then what
Yeah.
what happens? Like do you
Oh,
walk around in a snake? Do you go wherever you want? Like what's the first thing we see?
okay. Well, first of all, Australian fans are so polite. I guess you call it queuing up, not lining up. You guys stay in your formation. It's unreal. So I'm originally Canadian, and I don't know if it's a Commonwealth thing. I don't know if the Brits had us queuing up, but you guys are so polite. You can literally go wherever you want. You don't have to do it. I mean, for this one, there is a sequential order in terms of the albums, but once you get in, and again, don't want to give too much away, but once you get in, you'll just be smacked with so much that's just hitting you visually and sonically.
Well, you've managed to win me over 100% completely, but people who haven't got their tickets for it yet, like you can still buy ticket. Like you don't have to buy them with your actual Knotfest ticket, do you? You can have your Knotfest ticket and then purchase these later.
Yeah, you can even buy them outside the tents.
Oh wow.
So you can buy them day of, or you can buy them online. And yeah, it is a separate ticket. But again, for the Slipknot fan, for the Slipknot curious, for the Knotfest fan, it's a must do because it's something so unique to any festival that I've ever worked on. And, sort of who knows what the future holds. So I would say take advantage of it while we're there, and please come and say hi to me. I mean, I know you have a bazillion listeners. I was looking at your stats. You're pretty well known over there. So to all
Yeah.
the fans, please come and say hi to me. I'd love to see you and meet you.